Greetings and welcome to another edition of The Pedal Shift Project. The Pedal Shift Project is a series of conversations, thoughts, and experiments on bicycle travel adventures. From tips and tricks to ideas on how to ride your ride. Let's shrink the world by bike. Show notes and more are available at pedalshift.net, and you can email the show at pedalshift@pedalshift.net or text me at 202-930-1109 and check Pedal Shift out on all the socials as well. Hello everybody and welcome to the 415th edition of the Pedal Shift Project. My name's Tim Mooney. Thanks so much for joining. On this edition, part 4 of the mysterious Oregon coast bicycling adventure. The morning starts strong at Cape Lookout with perfect James and Tim weather, but what begins as a confident push towards Beverly Beach slowly unravels into mechanical mayhem and decision-making paralysis. But with the original plan officially in shambles and multiple escape routes beckoning, will we unleash a sufferfest or pivot to something a little more unexpected?
Good morning. We are at Cape Lookout State Park and getting up a little bit before 7 right now. Actually, a little bit after 7 by this point. And weather was a little bit warmer last night than I thought. I think that the marine layer kept it a little bit warmer, which was fine. It was still plenty cool to sleep. There's one species of bird that was above my head or nearby. It's off in the distance now. It had a distinct song, as of course these birds all do. But it is at a frequency that got through my earplugs. So it kept me awake a little bit later than I would have liked it and got me up a little bit earlier than I would have liked with the sun around 5:30. But I was able to catch up one more little nap within it, which was good. But otherwise, slept absolutely tremendously. Nothing like a good 50-plus mile day to get you to sleep pretty well. So I feel pretty good and refreshed. Getting my hydration on and I'm getting my caffeine on. I can't remember if I mentioned this while we were on the mic or not, but hydration yesterday was really good, and I think that it definitely has been contributing to better performance. And I've had some conversations with some of the listeners, you listeners, hello, offline, and I think last year's struggles, we seem to have some consensus on that being a major contributor to the hunger situation, the lack of hunger, the lack of ability to eat. And it all makes sense. If you are dehydrated, it just throws your entire system off. So it was just the first time it ever manifested that way for me. I do wake up, interestingly, I go to bed fully hydrated and I wake up very dehydrated. It's just really interesting how my body processes these things. So I'm taking great pains to camel up here in the morning just to start the day at a hydrated place. And I think that'll really benefit. Today, we know that there's a big climb out of camp that we knew. I seem to think that there's at least one other if our final destination is going to be Beverly Beach, which I think is where we're going to be going. We'll be checking mileage on that and figuring that all out. But our confidence level for both of us is much higher now that we were able to string together that 50-plus mile day that feels normal. And our kind of attitude is if we can get off the couch and do 50-mile days, then we feel good about ourselves. It would be better to not be getting off the couch. It would be better to be more in shape, but that just was the circumstance of this year, and my Lake Ontario trip wasn't as robust as we all hoped for. In any event, the day is up before us. It looks cloudy and cool, which we are both very big fans of, and we'll see how this all goes. All right, much more to come. From Pacific City, arguably my favorite town on the coast. Small, maybe a little bougie. Nice. I like it. If I ever were to move to an Oregon coastal city, this would be high on the list of possibilities. Taking a break here at the Stimulus Coffee House, one of my favorites. Good spot for a snack, got some Wi-Fi, the usual. James is behind me. It was a kind of riding where on his wider tired bike that I have a slight advantage just with the way my tires are. They're just better for that. So he should be behind me a few minutes. And yeah, we'll assess. We're about a quarter of the way in mileage-wise, a little bit more for purposes of Beverly Beach as our finish line, so we can assess energy and whatnot. I'm feeling really good, but I also slammed a Red Bull a little while back, so that'll definitely help, and I've been feeding the beast, but I'm gonna get something like I did yesterday, like an egg burrito or something like that, if they've got something like that, because that really worked well yesterday, so I'm gonna repeat that, and then we'll assess and go from there. One of 2 big hills done, but there's a couple of, as I like to call them, hills before Pacific City. They short, steep ones that just take a bunch out of you. So I'll be curious how James is feeling. I'm hoping that he's doing okay, and then we can keep rolling through. He's usually the stronger of the 2 of us, so I assume he's going to. All right, I'm going to go get some food, and we'll have a kind of a reasonable break here. Not a super long break, but maybe 20, 30 minutes at most. All right, more to come. From Nesquin, Oregon, by the market here at the side of the road. If you've ridden by here, you probably have stopped here. Nesquin Provisions. A little bougie. There's also a bus stop here for the bus that takes you into Lincoln City, because there's a big hill coming up, our second one of the day. And both James and I are going to meet here, water up, and take a shorter break than last time, and get ready for this hill. On the other side of it, we get to Lincoln City. Lincoln City contains our short day stop, so if we're done, that's a 40-plus mile day. We would stop there and we would camp there. We did it last year then on the Remix tour, where we stayed at mostly new campgrounds, and with one exception, it was an existing campground we'd stayed at, but they had a brand new hiker-biker, so that was cool. So yeah, we are moving along here. I think I see James in the distance back there. Am I right? No, that's not him, but he'll be here soon. Yeah, it was the kind of terrain that I would move faster on than him. Rolling hills, but a lot of flats, and I just go a lot faster because, again, his wide, knobbier tires are just going to have more friction on it. So in any event, cool, mostly cloudy day, which was as advertised. No rain, which is great. Yeah, so I am feeling a little unsettled. Like, I think I'm still digesting that breakfast that I had back in Pacific City, so I feel like that's part of what's going on here. It's longer term calories, which will serve me well, but feeling like I wish I felt a little bit better going into this hill. So I'm gonna be careful. I don't think I'm gonna eat anything here, but I'm gonna have some quick calories for the hill. I've got like a honey stinger, and I think a bar in there maybe, but I've had plenty of calories. I'm just watching the water and making sure I'm drinking plenty of water, just to make sure that these things are going well. Not much else to share. I should mention that my bike has been riding so well, just really well. It's been rolling great, shifting great. Occasionally I'll get like a little hop in my gears, so I think it's starting to get a little bit out of sync there, but otherwise for the most part it's been excellent. Been mostly in the middle and first chain ring. I haven't had to go in the third chain ring. Just haven't felt compelled to do that, like rolling down the hills to add to it. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. Sorry, you're getting the truck backing up here at the market. Yeah, bike performance has just been fantastic. I feel largely great. I think we're riding into that bike shape, which just feels good after not feeling so hot earlier on. As I mentioned in Beaverton, I just was like, I don't know if I can do this. And it just feels okay. What I have done this year, the minimal amount of cycling has gotten me at least to the point where I can do this ride, following the route of the book, perhaps, with the possibility that we may declare a short day today. We'll see. But yeah, things are going pretty well. I'm feeling good about that. All right, I'm going to go grab a bottle of water, I think. And we'll see if anything else looks good or interesting in there, because we've got another, 10-ish miles, I think, up and over the hill to get into Lincoln City and then to Devil's Lake. And that's going to be our next kind of assessment stop after this. All right, much more to come. From Lincoln City, Oregon, upon further review, James was having some mechanicals. He's got an issue with his rear tire now. So the bike has proven to be as generous as it was for his friend to loan it to him. We've had some issues with it, and it has created some challenges, which we have been overcoming. But James was like, would you like to stay here tonight? And I said, absolutely, because at that point I was like, yeah, hell yes. Because we had 20 more miles and a not insignificant climb left. And then about maybe 10 minutes later, James was like, I have another idea. How about a hotel night? And I was like, yes, sir. And so we ate at a very local Mexican restaurant for our maybe lunch, maybe dinner. It depends. It's looking like dinner at this point. And got into the hotel. It's tiki-themed. It's delightful. It's not a very high-end hotel, but it is exactly the type of hotel that James and I prefer. It's clean enough, and it was in the right location, which was the most important thing. What about the rest of the week? We are open to possibility, and I think that having dug the hole early in the trip, the original plan may not come to fruition. So we have a bunch of stuff ahead of us, and I think that neither of us are in the place to make any decision-making right now because it hit quickly that we were both really cooked, and that's one of the bigger climbs, and there's plenty more of those coming up down the coast. But I think that we've been enjoying our time together more than anything else. The cycling has been fun, of course, but now it's, okay, do we want to focus on banging out miles to get to North Bend, which we could do, and grab the bus and get down to Harris Beach and Crescent City as originally planned? Or do we maybe have some alternative ideas? And so there are many different options. We haven't made any decisions, nor do we intend to in this part. However, after a good night's sleep, I have a sneaking suspicion that we will have some kind of an idea of what the remainder of the mysterious Oregon coast trip looks like. And it has been mysterious, and it has been a trip. And we are just in no position right now to make any kind of decisions as to what the back end of this trip will be, but have no doubt, gentle listeners, that it will be fun. So we're stoked. Our bikes are taking a well-deserved break, as are we. And we will see you next week for you, tomorrow for us.
Statistics. Miles biked, about 40. Hotel theme, tiki, delightful, not high-end, but kind of perfect. Bird species that defeat earplugs, 1. There is a mysterious frequency with that bird. Flats, 0. Thank you for joining. You can find Pedal Shift at pedalshift.net for more great bicycle touring content. You can hear the Pedal Shift project through Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast app. Opening music courtesy of Jason Kent off his self-titled album. The track is called America. Check out his band Sunfield's latest release, Mono Mono, wherever cool music is available.